What's up, what's up? Welcome back to my universe where I share everything music from reactions to covers to originals, as well as my journey as an independent artist and content creator. If any of that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below so you can see more from me. Now, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the different things, the different challenges that I have had to overcome as an independent artist. And to be honest, I'm still working on most of them. First things first, I have to talk about performance anxiety and stage fright. For me, that is a huge part of being an independent artist that I just have to get over, and it is something that I'm still working on. I think that the best way to kind of get over this is to just by continually doing it over and over again. But as the pandemic kind of slowed down live performances in 2020 and a little bit in 2021, I kind of just made the excuse to not do live performances. And this year, I want to definitely get back to fighting that fear. It's kind of hard and kind of ironic that somebody who loves to perform is also terrified of performing. Leading up to a performance, I feel like my heart is just beating. It freaks me out and I'm afraid of failing. But at the same time, once I get up there, I'm just like, this is the most exhilarating thing in the world. And I feel 10 times better after every time I perform. So that's one thing I definitely want to work on this year, is to just keep on performing until the point where I'm no longer feeling that anxiety before every single performance, or at least not to the extent that I currently am. And speaking of which, I actually have my very first performance happening this January on the 30th, and I will be live streaming it. So I hope you guys can join and see me perform. One of the things that scares me so much about performing live is kind of having to create a banter. I'm not really a public speaker. I don't like to talk on stage. I'm fine talking in front of a camera, clearly. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm fine singing in front of people. But when it comes to talking, I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? And that's been something that I've had to deal with. One way that I kind of help myself get over that is by practicing whatever I'm gonna say before the performance actually happens. So I'll actually write out a script or a bunch of bullet points that I want to touch on, and I'll practice doing the banter while I'm rehearsing for the actual performance. And I feel like that really helps me kind of feel a little bit more comfortable about what I'm gonna say, so that whenever I get on stage, I'm not just freaking out. All in all, although performance is kind of scary and kind of terrifying, it is a big part of being an independent artist, and I thoroughly enjoy doing it, even though, it makes my heart go bump bump. So I just feel like it's something that I want to keep working on, I want to keep working towards, and I hope that if you're an independent artist, you do too. So another thing I want to talk about is social media. Using social media as an independent artist is incredibly important, because this is how I basically build my community. And being consistent with social media is something that I have definitely struggled with and want to get better with as well in 2022. So what exactly does this mean? Well, for me, it means posting multiple times a week on these platforms, engaging with other people who either like my music, like music that's similar to mine, or other independent artists who share the same experiences that I experience. And what this does, it allows me to learn from other people, but it also allows me to learn more about my fans and what they like, what they don't like, what they're expecting from me. I am also being very vulnerable with a lot of the posts. I think that one thing that music artists kind of forget is that even though you're being vulnerable in your music, you can still be vulnerable on social media. And that vulnerability definitely builds a stronger community around you. It makes you feel a lot more personable. And that's something that I feel like I want to have with every artist that I enjoy listening to. So I want other people to have that same feeling with me when they're listening to my music. It also just makes me feel really good whenever I get feedback on my music. I have had some of the most supportive and sweet people message me or share my songs, and that just honestly makes everything seem so much more worth it. Even though social media can sometimes seem like a bit of a burden, I feel like the pros outweigh the cons, and having that community around you is just chef's kiss, amazing. One thing I do want to point out though with social media is that not everything that you post has to be related to music. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to do fashion content. Sometimes I'm like, I want to do music content. To be honest, it's a little bit crazy up here in my mind, and I'm constantly jumping from hobby to hobby, and I just want to share all of that. And I feel like as an artist, we might want to put ourselves in these boxes where we're like, okay, well, I'm an artist, so I want to show them all my music. But it honestly, I feel like it makes it a lot more engaging and inviting if you kind of show who you are as a whole person and not just as a musician. The third thing that I want to talk about, and I am 110% very guilty of this, is being consistent with actually putting out music. One of the reasons why I find it so hard to post on social media so much is because I haven't put anything out. What am I supposed to talk about with my music? You know, referencing things from a year ago gets old pretty quickly, which is why one of my goals this year is to actually just put out more music. And part of that is having all of these thought distortions in my head where I'm like, okay, well, the song is not good enough to go out yet. The song is not ready. And to be honest, you shouldn't be the one deciding that. And I definitely felt that when I released my last song, Lovely. I was in no way ready to release that song. It was actually in its final layers of production when it was put on TikTok and it started going viral. And at that moment, I realized that I am 100% my own biggest critic. And that's gonna keep holding me back if I keep making myself think like, oh, it's not ready, it's not ready, it's not ready. Well, the only way that it's ever going to be ready is if you put it out, you learn from the experience, and then you keep on going. And that is something that I'm taking fully into account this year, because after I released that song, I didn't release anything else in 2021. I rode the wave for as long as possible, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I had put out more stuff. But honestly, it kind of shocked me how well the song did, and it freaked me out because I was like, what am I supposed to put out that's gonna top Lovely? When really my thought process should have been, wow, people really like your music, let's give them more of what they want. So you are your own biggest critic. Don't let yourself get in the way of your own success. Shameless plug, if you haven't heard Lovely yet, or even if you have, I have dope merch out, like this said hat, that you can purchase on my website right here. Now back to the video. So the last thing I want to talk about is collaboration, which honestly, I put off collaborating for a very long time for the exact reasons before, all these thought distortions, I wasn't ready. But collaboration definitely pushes you forward and definitely, challenges you to try new things. So my last song that I mentioned before, Lovely, I actually did that in collaboration with a producer named Venus, who reached out to me on Instagram. And when he first reached out, he was like, I have some beats, I would love for you to hear them. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I would love to help you out in the same way that other people, might help me out. And so I listened to some of his beats, and when I heard the beat that is now used for Lovely, I immediately fell in love, and I stepped out of my comfort zone and was like, let's collaborate on this because I absolutely love what you're doing with it. And honestly, the rest is history. After that, I was like, I have no reason to be scared to collaborate because it has, helped me create the best song that I've put out so far. And it just makes me want to keep pushing the boundaries of what I can do. In that same light though, I would like to say, know your boundaries, because if you just go ahead and say yes to every person that wants to collaborate with you, you might find yourself feeling incredibly overwhelmed. And I've definitely done this to where I was like, yeah, I want to collaborate with you, I want to collaborate with you, I want to collaborate with you. And the next thing I knew, I wasn't collaborating with anybody because I had stressed myself out by adding way too many collaborators into 1 month. And I ended up canceling most of them because I was like, I can't do this. So definitely allow yourself the space to breathe, the space to plan, the space to actually get these collaborations out in a time frame that works for you. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to give a little bit of insight of the things that I've been struggling with as an independent artist so that hopefully I can help you with anything that you might be struggling with. If you have any questions, definitely comment them down below. I would also love to hear the different challenges that you've experienced as a musician or artist, and I'd love to get that chat going. I want to build more of a community than even what I had mentioned before. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from me. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for taking a peek into my universe. Bye.